Imagine a nation where the echoes of old words can resurface with the power to shake the very foundations of leadership. That's exactly the situation South Africa finds itself in today, as one of its cabinet ministers stands at the heart of a storm, as social media unearthed posts from over a decade ago. Posts that have ignited fierce debate and raised a crucial question. Should a public servant's past words define their present office? The man at the center of this controversy is Gayton McKenzie, South Africa's current Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture, who has been in office since July 2024. Known to many as the combative and tough-talking leader of the Patriotic Alliance, he's a man with a complex story, from spending years in prison to becoming a motivational speaker and politician. But now, his past has caught up with him. Recently, screenshots and resurfaced social media posts, some over a decade old, revealed language deemed highly offensive and derogatory toward Black South Africans. In particular, apartheid-era slurs and demeaning remarks, including statements attributing negative stereotypes of Black people, have galvanized outrage and demands for accountability. Across the political and social spectrum, the calls came swiftly. Action SA lodged a formal complaint with the South African Human Rights Commission, demanding an investigation into what they described as repugnant language from a sitting cabinet minister. The economic freedom fighters also entered the fray, calling on President Cyril Ramaphosa to remove McKenzie from office, citing the severity of the language and accusing him of hypocrisy, especially since he once campaigned against racism directed at the same colored community. The African Transformation Movement, too, urged drastic action, emphasizing that such rhetoric undermines the values central to South Africa's democracy. Yet McKenzie didn't step back quietly. In a defiant response, he labeled the allegations as false and malicious, insisting he would remain in office and subject himself to formal investigation, if necessary. He highlighted his own heritage, pointing out that his mother is Black, that he's fathered children with a Black woman, and that he's fought tirelessly for parity between Black and colored communities. He conceded that some of his older posts were insensitive and hurtful, calling himself a former troll, but insisted he's neither racist nor deserving of the label. In the broader South African context, this episode taps into deeper currents. How do we reconcile a person's past with their present, especially when past words cross lines that society now fully condemns? On one hand, there's the demand for accountability and an affirmation that racism, in any form, can never be acceptable from public leaders. On the other, there's the debate about redemption, growth, and whether someone's voice today should be judged by their mistakes of the past, especially when they've publicly acknowledged regret. Civilians, commentators, and even celebrities have weighed in. Media personality Sol Fenduka publicly questioned the cryptic remarks McKenzie made about unspecified consequences should he be removed, while calling for clarity and highlighting the seriousness such statements invoke. Online, citizens debated whether the focus should remain on the language or whether the intent and context should matter. Some argued McKenzie's apology and acknowledgement of past missteps indicated meaningful accountability, while others insisted that leadership roles carry zero tolerance for any form of racism. So, where does that leave us now? The SCHRC has confirmed receipt of the complaint and is expected to decide in the coming weeks whether to launch a formal probe. Meanwhile, parties like Action SA and the EFF are ready to escalate the matter to legal and equity courts if no decisive action is taken. And McKenzie himself remains steadfast, insisting he'll cooperate and contest any false narratives. Looking ahead, several outcomes are possible. The president might choose to dismiss McKenzie, signaling that for South Africa, accountability and equality are non-negotiable. Alternatively, a formal investigation may clear him, or at least allow him to remain while the process plays out, raising questions about precedent, due process, and what it means to hold public office in a democracy. Either way, this moment tests the strength of South Africa's commitment to confronting racism, even when it comes from within its own ranks. Stepping back, it's clear that this moment matters deeply. It reminds us that words carry weight, that the past doesn't fade just because the years advance, and that public office demands both scrutiny and grace. Whether Gayton McKenzie walks on or is asked to step aside, the outcome will reflect something essential about this society. I hope you've followed this journey with clarity and depth. If you did, please consider subscribing for more thoughtful breakdowns of issues that impact us all. And drop a comment below. What do you think South Africa should do? Can someone truly leave their past behind? Would removal be justice, or is there room for redemption? Let's talk about it.